So here's my review on Superman. I never read the comics. I don't know anything about, Superman from like a comic book standpoint. Couldn't tell you, you know, I know the same origin story as every other red-blooded American. Uh, Kal-El, Krypton, sent here as a baby. Just a good dude. And so that's been colored through the lens of a little bit of the Christopher Reeves Batman or Superman. And then pretty much after that, Smallville. But that's a TV show and it's low budget, so it can only do so much. But what it did was tell just a really cool story of Superman. And then Henry Cavill, which I'm probably going to get some hate mail for this one, but this new Superman has just, for me, taken Henry Cavill and put him in his own place, because this is an entirely different Superman. This is a Superman who, doesn't want to hurt anybody. And that's refreshing. Like, not that Henry Cavill's did, but there's a certain naivete, sort of spectrum-like positivity about this Superman, where he's just good, and he can't not be good. Like, he just can't. You feel that from the character, you feel that from the performance, and then the interaction with Clark or Superman and Lois, just so good. I'll tell you this, James Gunn, he is he's got it going on. Like, that performance, the whole thing was just from start to finish a great story. It was. You were, again, I'm not a huge comic book fan, but you are watching the comic book play out the whole time. And it's so refreshing, because there is not a movie like that out. There's not a movie, Marvel's not putting anything out like that. Like, their X-Men series has that same magic. X-Men 97 has that same chutzpah, that same spark of storytelling, but draws you in. But not like this. They did something incredibly special that really, I think it's a resonating frequency of a flick. It's just kind of like visual art with great characters. There's a lot of it is very funny, and I found myself laughing at things as the only one in the audience laughing, but it's so funny because the humor is, it's so I don't know what the word is called. It's in that sweet pocket of dry, sometimes humanity-based elements, where if you've lived life long enough, these things are funny. It's just funny. And then, of course, Crypto. Crypto, incredible addition to the entire show. And it's not like there was never a moment during the entire thing where you felt like something was being overplayed or overdone, where you're like, okay, let's get back to so-and-so. This part's boring me. Not once. It just flowed, and it had a cadence to it that was moving and progressing and was on point and didn't lack for anything. You've been weighed and measured and have not been found wanting, to steal a line from A Knight's Tale. So, it really was just, I don't know, it was a perfect movie. It really was a perfect movie. It had everything that you'd want in a good flick. It had great narrative, character building, great storytelling, visually, aesthetically. Like the saturation was perfect. It felt just magical, kind of golden age. What? How can we explain that? Safe enough for kids, but not at the same time. There were things and themes and aspects of it that I was like, well, my kids are going to be confronted with a real thing via this movie, this experience. But it's, it doesn't shy away from real topics. Like, there's a scene where you see how dark Lex Luthor is. Like, you really see it and you feel it, and you watch it, and it happens, and you're like, whoa, Lex is, this guy doesn't give a flying rat's about anybody. And yeah, he's so clever and cunning and smart. And you do kind of wonder, how is Superman gonna beat Lex Luthor? Like, he will, I think, but you're like, oh, I don't know, how's this gonna work out? Because Superman, he doesn't have a lot of the glitz and the glitter and the forethought of a plan like Lex Luthor does. And so you're thrown into this narrative where you're kind of wondering, how is he going to pull this off? And the consistent theme of how he does everything is he sticks to being a good person and caring for others. And that's just the most, he just has a very noble presence. And kudos, hats off to the actor who played it, because he nailed it. I mean, he nailed it. And I think James Gunn, I mean, obviously, some of my favorite Marvel movies are the entire Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, or grouping of Guardians of the Galaxy movies, because they all tell different stories. So kind of a trilogy in a way, but not in the Back to the Future kind. So it's, yeah, it incredibly surprised me, and I'm gonna watch that over and over and over again, because it has this sort of nostalgia of goodness and like you want that vibe that it's giving in your life, if that makes sense. You want to see good overcome evil. You want to see the hero's journey. You want to see that arc of a character from who isn't really struggling with, like the whole time. He's not struggling with doing the right thing. He's more so struggling with what happens when somebody who just consistently does the right thing for the right reasons, or tries to do things for the right reasons out of care and concern and compassion and being good to people, how the world inevitably steps in the way, and he deals with those hurdles. He just, with unrelenting determination. Just, he relentlessly pursues in the direction, the compass, his true north of helping, protecting, and doing good. And that's just, it's so refreshing to see a character who is that morally sound and good and kind and doesn't see hurdles as stopping him from being who he is. So the narrative arc is great, the storyline is great, the aesthetics are great, the acting is great, the pace is great. All in all, hands down, probably one of the best, even just movies. Like, it's just, it has a special vibe that makes you feel good. I love the fact that my kids watched it, because throughout too, there's so many different little mini lessons that you could extract out of it. Just from all the different characters, not just Superman. So, and that's really cool. And the humor in this, might I say, it was funny as shit. I was laughing the whole time because it's funny. I mean, there's so much about this movie that just is funny. It's not ha make you laugh jokes. It's the interactions and just the acting of just normal human interactions that is funny to experience. Like Jimmy Olsen's character, it's just funny. And I don't want to spoil it, because I won't, but suffice it to say that James Gunn and team, hands down, just some of the best storytellers around. And action scenes, amazing. Just, I'll give it. It's a 10 out of 10 movie. 10 out of 10. That's even a thing. Yeah. It will go in my collection of movies that I return to watch, to have an experience and feel good. My Bravehearts, Patriots, Apocalypto, all that. So I'm on a Mel Gibson kick. It's right up there in a totally different category of its own. It's like a blue ocean, He really did kind of create something special and different. And the Justice Gang, man, I can't wait to see more. It's just, nothing about the movie sucked. Like, all of it was just great and different, refreshingly different than what is being put out in Hollywood. I mean, it compared to what Marvel's been putting out, it's just a breath of fresh air. So look out, Marvel. Like, James Gunn if he's at the helm, and this is what we're gonna get from DCU or EU, whatever they're calling it right now. If this is the caliber of product out of the mind of James Gunn, Marvel they can't keep fumbling the ball. They can't keep putting out crap that nobody wants to watch, that nobody cares about. Give the people what they want. Tell a good story. That is it. Tell a good story with great storytellers. I mean, how amazing would it be if there was a Guy Ritchie directed Marvel movie, just like Guy Ritchie do it? Let him take a crack at it. Like, that would be amazing. It would be a Guy Ritchie movie, but even a Quentin Tarantino. Imagine a Quentin Tarantino Marvel movie. I'm sure we will soon with AI, but I guarantee it would probably be 10 times better than some of the garbage they've been putting out lately. Like nobody wanted the Marvels. It sucked. Like, it was I wanted it to be good because I want to see a good movie. I want to see great storytelling, but it didn't. It was just It's like even my children who sometimes don't have a great taste in cinema, like they don't want to watch it, and it just, But as soon as I put Avengers: Infinity War or Endgame on, because we watch those on repeat, they're locked in. Like my littlest is just enamored by the whole thing. I get it. It's all that's needed is good storytelling. That is it. That's the magic formula. Good storytelling. Because we all thirst for it. That's caked into and baked into, I don't know if caked into is a word, but baked into the fabric of our species, which is incredibly unique than any other species, is storytelling. Like narrative, this, the fireside telling of tales that carry with them lessons, entertainment, reaches into the aspects of us as humans, our memories. Like, there's magic in stories. There just is, and we don't have great storytellers who are, putting out great stories, but this was, I gotta say, hands down, one of the best, if not my favorite, current favorite, uniquely present flick that is, yeah, it's setting the tone that Marvel can't set right now. They just don't have it. I'm gonna go get a Superman t-shirt now. Like, that, I'll say this. I was not a huge Superman fan, but James Gunn is, I'm a convert. Man, I'm gonna get that Superman flag. Like, I'm gonna get a Superman shirt now because I feel like I can relate to a character in a way that I haven't been able to relate to any other characters in the DC universe. Even maybe Marvel for that matter. Like, there's so much humanity in Superman, and I think maybe that's the gem that James Gunn and team have given, is this sort of symbol of he's created this, like, or no, not created, but tapped into that archetype of what we should aspire to be. I think that's, the Christ archetype, that pure sort of individual who we all aspire to be, like the best version of ourselves. And that really is, I think, the closest I can describe to the Superman that's been presented to us, is the best version of, like, he's just so good, and he cares, and he wants to do what's right, because that's who he is, not because that's what, which the whole, his parents, that was fascinating. The juxtaposition between both parents and how he was raised versus what you would expect. I definitely cried in the moments when he was talking to his dad, because it, no matter how old you get or experience you gain, there's a uniquely created or uniquely felt emotion towards parental figures that never goes away. And so these interactions, they change. This interaction between Superman and his dad, who is just he's very different than all the other Clark Kent raised fathers. Just very different, and yet you see the home that Clark grew up in, or Superman grew up in, and how that affected him, and the cherished memories that he has from it. And it's just, all this to say, long story short, I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan now. James Gunn, he's got a follower who's now drinking that Superman Kool-Aid, man, because it tastes good and it goes down smooth.